Wow. Come play with your bells? Come play with your bells. You know you wanna. Wow, here he comes. Where you going? Where you going? Holy shit. Wow. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Right? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable! 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 We go live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Get it. Wow, rude. Rude.
Meu coração pulou pra boca.
Rude.
Na primeira vez que eu te vi, menina, meu coração pulou.
Got 1 minute.
Corpo assim não se vê nem na revista, nem no TikTok, no Instagram de artista. Corpo de mestiça, de tanta coisa boa.
Why are you so full of violence?
Te quero
Why are you so full of violence?
Na primeira vez que eu te vi, menina,
I have to go press the button. I have to go press the button. I have to go press the button. Play with your bells.
Hello. Birdcam is not a lie. I just didn't realize it had gone out. Sometimes Collabcam does that. I teased you with Birdcam. I will make Birdcam even more Birdcam. Hold on. It's kind of glitching out. I believe in you. There we go. I just have to do it that way. Wait for it. You play with your bells. So, I might have gone a little bit overboard with the Birdcam, guys. I set up my laptop over there so that I could connect another webcam to it that has like 4K, which lets me zoom in and stuff without making it look weird. And then I was like, you know what else I could do? I could connect a bunch of ring lights to it. I mean, I just got you all framed up and now you're moving. Basically, Emmy now has a setup that is technically... You're out of frame.
Oh, look what you've done.
You've broken my carefully... Oh, here he comes. Basically, he has a better setup for filming right now than Skilltree. I am controlling my laptop from my computer and then importing... Yeah, you right there. Wow, bird.
Are you pretty? Are you a star? Wow, you're a star. Look at you. You're so pretty. You're so star. Wow. Tell him. Show those bells what for.
So yeah. He is now officially. And there's Lily in the background. Just watching Emmy be a little... He's got his own stage now, right? Are you a star? Are you? That felt like a nod, just saying. See, Collabcam's weird. It will go in and out sometimes, and then I have to manually, like, re-put it on. But anyway, so some people are asking how I survived the snowstorm. It was okay. I generally got the impression that it wasn't that big of a deal here. It was more just like driving is going to be annoying for a day or two. But man, it was plowed by the time I woke up. I put some video of all that into the Discord back when it was happening. Evening NPCs. And says, enthusiasm is never overdone. I still have the Star Wars alert thing from when we did those like 4-hour to 6-hour Star Wars live streams. I say because there was many. I kept failing. Ghost hugs. Yeah, no, I've been pretty good. I live in an apartment complex. They plow for us, which is nice. I didn't really get anything, like, it wasn't cold, birds were fine, power didn't go out. Massachusetts seems pretty well adjusted for all that. Like, I kind of treated it like it was like a mild hurricane with my like Florida instincts, but after the fact, it seemed like most Massachusetts was treating it like, at least the people that I was talking to, was treating it like a bad thunderstorm, like we would in Florida, like where it's like a horrible like rain for days and some streets flood. It's more of just like an annoyance than anything, and it's not super likely that power is gonna go out, but you might get clickers, that kind of stuff. Hello. This song always comes up when I live stream, and I've slowly gotten more and more fond of it. So today's the design live stream, and after I spent about an hour setting up, have I seen a real holly bush now? I don't know, actually. Everything is under about 2 to 3 feet of snow, so if I have seen one, it's gone now. I'm distracted by watching how cute Emmy is.
There will never be anyone who loves you as much as me. You're just too cute. Look at you. Look at you. Wow. So cute, so pretty, so wonderful.
He's been a brat today. Are we allowed to talk about the loss of a pet in a Discord server? I recommend probably reaching out to people in DMs for more emotional stuff. We don't really have a lot of, like, we have multiple general chats, so maybe you could do it in a less, like, trafficked one, but I find that going too deeply into, obviously you can, like, talk about it, that's not what I'm saying, but, like, sometimes I think people forget that there's thousands of people on the server, and it gets very comfortable with the people you're talking to and the kind of topics brought up. So I usually try to encourage people to move more personal things or things that have more like emotional weight into a personal chat with people that you know, because you never know who or what's gonna talk on or who or what is watching on a public chat. Hi, Emmy. So today we are doing the designing. I've been playing around with some Dendronian stuff because I'm doing our style guide for that. I made the mistake of forgetting just how annoying it is to do a website. Like, it's not hard, it's just tedious. So I had like a bunch of stuff laid out that I was like, oh, I'll just copy and paste this into the website, do like a cool little design or whatever, and I'll have the Dendronian website. Cut to days later, and Squarespace is great if you don't know how to code. Like you could do the website creating in a way that if you don't actually have to learn to code, but it does tend to be kind of cumbersome and like tedious, because you have to like, it's not super like streamlined, because it's basically giving you a medium to do something that people normally don't have. Like, they normally code it directly, and you like, it's giving you like a something you can just move stuff around. It's not normally how it works. So anyway, basically everything takes so much longer, and then what you think you can do, you can't, and you basically have to start from scratch every single 5 minutes. But I've been playing around with different symbols for the different kind of areas in Dendronia. So I believe I talked about it in an earlier live stream, which was along the lines of since our camp has so many so many new people that move through it, I wanted to have kind of sub-camps or subgroups that have a little bit of like culture and theming to them, so that people could have something to latch onto that wouldn't just be like you joining a camp with a bunch of strangers and such. So I didn't want to just go for the seasonal courts, even though they're very fey, because the seasonal courts do exist in Conquest. So instead I made like basically aspects, and they are a combination of like something more celestial, something like seasonal, and like something elemental. It's basically like an aspect of nature. So like this is the aspect of Lume. So Lume. So it is winter, water, and night. And it has a lot of other like stuff built into it, but those are the kind of three main natural aspects to it that it pulls in. And so I've been trying to make like a symbol for each one, taking from all those aspects. So like this one has holly leaves. I think it was Anne, you were the one that when we were talking about it's earth, air, fire, water, but then also the four seasons, and then also night, day, dawn, and dusk. And then they all have like, I have a whole thing that's just basically like, you know how the I think in an earlier live stream I was explaining a magic system that I made once that was kind of based more on like the Eastern elements rather than the more Western, like fire, earth, water, air, the more like clean cut elements, where it's like wood, metal, I think it's wood, metal, fire, water. I think, is it earth or stone? So they have it so that there's a lot of different associations. Like each element is associated with a sense, or like the like part of the body and such, or different like emotions and such. So I wanted the aspects of Dendronia to have that kind of feel, because Dendronia is Fae, and our Fae are very tied into the natural balance of the world. So everything has dynamics within it and feels like that. There is no clean cut things in nature. So like Lume is also associated with, I believe it's sight. Yeah, I believe it's sight. They have their own kind of like spectrum of the color wheel that they're associated with. There's just a bunch of different things. But back to the design side of things, I've been trying to design symbols for them. So for this, there is kind of a star, snowflake, holly leaf, and then I think this type of flower is a winter rose, was the kind of inspiration for it. The icicle looking things ended up looking like thistles just by playing with it, and I'm not sure if thistles are night vision. Yeah, it was also because they're associated with crystals and like refraction and light. So they tend to associate a lot with like the visual spectrum of things, and kind of playing with like contrast and light and like refraction and all that kind of stuffs. But I wasn't sure if thistle. Oi! No stream. They're like, it is It is nighttime. And you have shown a bunch of lights at us. That is kind of unfair. But, I wasn't sure if thistle is associated with winter. I know they're a plant that kind of stays alive through winter. And then kind of comes back. But I'm gonna stick with it, I guess, because it looks... It ended up, like, looking nice. Then I had... what were you called? Wind, I think? Which is spring, dawn, and air. They're associated with sound? Yeah, they're associated with sound, I believe. So I was going to, I believe, basically add more, because this used to be on the bottom too. And I got rid of it because I wanted to go more for like a dawn vibe. So I might add more to the top here. Yeah. And then I can add maybe... something like that, so it looks more dawn-y. And then this was... oh geez, I forget the word. It's basically the word that is associated with like the open plains of kind of a prairie. But it's the summer. It's like summer, fire, and day. Oh no, this is autumn. This is the summer one. Which I was playing with the idea of lilies. Oh no, that's the colors. Lilies and marigolds and stuff, and then palm leaves and fire, because they're all associated with like summer, and thistle does not live through winter, but the dead seed heads do look pretty metal in winter. That must be what I'm thinking of. I guess personally, as someone who doesn't do winter up until recently, never really, I always thought of thistles or that kind of like vibe. I guess they stay visible in a way that, like, yeah, it looks like they might be still alive. I choked on my own speaking there. So I'm playing around with the summer one right now. I think I've got just basically different ferns and fire vibes going on. These aren't the actual colors, by the way. This is more just colors so I can differentiate the layers. Except the lily. That was just because I was feeling fancy. Yeah, that's the different things that I've been working on for that. And then I was trying to figure out more of, now that I actually can sew, or I've proven to myself that I can sew. Wow, Emmy, very cute. I've been looking at a lot of different stuff and be like, I can make that, which I probably can't, but I could try. But it has led me to trying to work more on design for like Crow's costume, because I feel like Crow's costume, this is what I think the last time we worked on stuff with Design Livestream, which was me trying to take the stuff that I already had and shift it to feel more Crow. Because like that used to be, like a lot of my underlayers used to be white, and I dyed them. This was when I was first trying to figure out costume stuff for Fox. But I think and this will be a good opportunity to think for, let's see, it would have been S for sewing patterns. I've been looking at sewing patterns, but then also just throwing in stuff that makes me think of what I would kind of want for Crow. I think she tends to be in my head of more of like a Victorian silhouette, just because it has a lot of bird-like shapes, and also, yeah, like even just like something like this looks like the like chest fluff of a bird. Like something like this is very like wingy. All those like big sleeves or those like tail coats always strike me as very, yeah, Miss Peregrine of yeah, she definitely strikes me as that kind of vibe. Also, this one just has feathers, so obviously I'm gonna think of Crow, but trying to figure out, like, even stuff like this is cool in the sense that it has like almost like a wing vibe to it. Or kind of like, I don't know, I've always for her tended to lean towards stuff with collars, leaning towards stuff for like shoulder, and then anything that has that kind of like either like chest shape or like almost like tail feather shape. Which tends to all come back to Victorian clothing. I think I also have one that is just Fox and Crow. I've made like 6 different Pinterest boards that is just Fox and Crow because I keep on trying to refine it, and then I just end up finding a lot more that I like. So then I end up just like, nah, actually let's add this, and it ends up a mess again. So like, I like collar stuff, shoulder stuff, and anything with like an interesting like front to it. They're like Victorian or Gothic in shape for obviously Gothic. Yeah, the Edwardian gets you into the more pigeon-breasted. I've worn a cravat before. I think I like, I'm not sure if that's, you can see like in the design, I drew kind of that one that is basically pleated on the front of your neck, and then it has like a collar that connects it. But, and then for Fox, I don't know, man. Like, I keep trying to figure out what Kit wants for Fox. I know he tends to lean toward more like, I guess like Eastern, but also kind of a little bit more like sharp-edged or militant. So like clean lines and stuff. Because he used to be in Kung Fu for a long time, so he has a lot of clothes that already, like, he's very comfortable in those sorts of fashions. And it fits if Fox is, like, our characters come from a world that is very similar to our modern world, where a lot of the mythology that we have is actually kind of like the archfey going around. And they're associated with animals. So like you would get like kitsune and like all the or like oh geez, what's the French? Basically anywhere that there's mythology around foxes or crows is in some way typically related to them as archfey interacting with people before magic dies, which is also like when like myth and mythology stops being like thought of as real. It's like, why did stories, like, why did people stop having all these mythological, there must have been stories, it doesn't happen anymore. It's like, but magic died because you killed it. I think this one was a good, like, bench point for Fox, because it had that kind of in-between space of, like, oriental, elven, and like, clean cut. And then Fox, and then like a Crow is very like more on the fanciful side. She grew up royalty where he grew up military, so it leans their fashions in different ways. But yeah, I've been trying to figure out, now that I can sew, or that I think I can, anything of doing stuff. We finally have the office. It's gonna be another like month of them doing construction for some of the basic stuff, like doing all the floors and all that. But yeah, that's those are the things that I've been designing recently. So, I'm not sure if that interests any of you. That's just a random thing I made. Here's the moth person. I got the moth person. I actually went and got more brushes to do with fashion after that, like buttons, because I designed so much stuff. Or my favorite, where is it? Where's Stitches? This, I'm so happy to have this, bro. Like, do you have any idea how much that helps me design stuff for Skill Tree? I mean, stop screaming. There's been so many times that I've like had to make my own like stitching. And now I have all of this. Look it. I loves it. There's so many. Ooh, this one even has yarn. Look at. It's the little things, man. Fabric textures. Look at that. Ah, it's the little things. And now that we might be working more with fabric, I'm very excited to be able to design things more with fabric. That's pretty. So yeah, any of that interest you guys, or do you want to do more giving me random stuff and making me design a thing? This is Procreate for the design stuff. It lets you kind of import different things and design your own like brushes and stuff. So a lot of people end up selling packs of brushes, kind of like Photoshop. Yup. This is oh, did I do the back as well? I liked the idea of, I think I was doing this in pencil. Procreate recently had a very big update, but it did get rid of all of my brushes. Kind of like the idea of something down the back and here. You being cute? You being cute? And then some kind of like fabric that comes up and pulls it more into a bodice shape. I just feel like it should come out more. It's hard in the back, but I like the idea of something down the spine. What's smocking? Smocking. Oh, yeah, that. Man, you have a lot of faith in me. Is that one of those things that looks easier than it is? 'Cause if not, you have a lot of faith in me. Time consuming. Yeah. I would worry about that. Although this is pretty. Let me pull up Etsy. I've been playing around with different fabrics in my head. Pro fabrics. That have something similar. So like, something like this looks like down feathers. Having that in kind of like underlying places. Smocking is tedious as fuck. So I can imagine. It looks like once you have it down, it still requires. It's like sewing in general. It requires a lot of setup and prep. So like kind of like texture and or even getting lacing that has where's the feather ones? Feather to them. And then sewing them on top of each other. Or just getting straight up down feathers. Like this. I believe you can dye feathers. Here's more lacing. Nope. That's weird. Or like even just like visual feeling of down feathers. Oh, and then there was another thing that I found that has optic fiber in it. So basically you can program it to have different like lighting effects, but it's a fabric that you sew with. And then I found this, which is basically the same thing, except it's like a thread. Yeah, my current costume has a lot of real feathers on them. I've definitely learned a lot, like never letting them touch your skin. I can imagine shorter ones like this would be better. The longer they are, the more they catch on stuff. But if I were to do it, I'd probably want to lay them pretty like over each other so that it's not like there's not like they kind of protect each other and then have something on the top of it. Kind of like how normal birds work. Like if it's here, I would do... This isn't gonna be assisted, so it won't show up on both sides, but like I would do feathers. Oh. There's motion activated lights and sometimes it gets confused. Don't be confused, I'm still here. Give it a moment. It'd be like this. And at the top, I'd cover it so that with something. And then I probably wouldn't have it go over the top of the shoulder. I'd probably have something there so it's more of like a flat surface. Alexa, turn on office lights. Silly office lights. So I'd try to cover the edges of them as much as possible. Maybe even the bottom. So that there isn't a lot sticking out. Wouldn't that be warm in the summer? Yeah. It's always been warmer. The glow-in-the-dark stuff might not work on field. Oh, that wasn't glow-in-the-dark. That was LEDs in fabric. But yeah, the foam feathers is another thing that I've looked at. I should have actually, maybe not in this. Here's some of creating foam feathers, or even fabric feathers. They don't look super hard. Especially since we have the laser, so I could. Ooh, that looks cool. So cool. So we could cut out a lot of them at once. I'd have to paint them all, but I've thought about doing stuff like this as well because I've always wanted a different, like, I always struggle with that line of trying to appear not like that, like not really human, but also not wanting to die in my costume. So like, there's no way I'm doing something like that because anytime that there is feathers touching your skin, you will sweat so much. You're like, we are not meant to have the feathers against the skins. That's doubling up on like things to insulate and or temperature regulate. Do not work. But yeah, as you do normally, I find that as long as there isn't anything irritating against your skin, and then you have like a good linen underlayer and such, my costume is already dark with feathers and stuff, and I haven't been too hot. This is just a fabric that I think one of mine is already made of, because it was made by a friend for me. She's also, here's a glow-in-the-dark thread. She's also supposed to be like the lunar lady, the lunar throne. So I wouldn't mind weaving in some like moon and or like lunar vibes to her. I feel like right now she just kind of like is, I don't know, there doesn't feel like anything that's particularly special about her costume. Because most of the time it's stuff that I've airbrushed them. I've never used an airbrush before. I wouldn't mind having an opportunity to try. Awful around the eyes. The foam or the feathers? Because the feathers, definitely. Wouldn't mind trying out, like, be cool to get these and then dye them just to try it out, because I think you can dye feathers in the same way that you can dye hair. If not, I'd want to get this like embroidery and dye it, this lace or stuff like this. I bet I could get this and then dye it darker so it's not like peacock colored. Depends on the type. It's made out of polyester. I could do that. You just have to use a different dye. Even stuff like this would be good. Anything that adds that like texture of feathers, but not like peacock. That's what I'm kind of going for. And then I don't know. Like I'd like to feel a bit otherworldly. I'm fine with the costume because I'm not going to be fighting in it. I'm not going to be anything like that. I am mostly a figurehead to make like the camp seem like more powerful and stuff. So the more like effort and stuff that I take into making me look powerful, even if it means I can't move, will fulfill that job of mine. And also, like, the more, like, it kind of gives the impression of, like, I don't need to do anything. I have people for that, which then, like, lends to that, like, impression as well. That's pretty. Giant. That's what I need. I need a giant feather fan. This would be cool, but not peacock. Just that kind of, like, feather back to it. I have some kind of like that now, but it's like a thing that wraps around my shoulders to be able to push up, which also means that it's pressed against like a lot of places that can be really hot. Yeah, because that's where you like release a lot of heat. So if you have feathers there, you're not releasing that heat. Hi, Emmy. Are you being cute? He's like, please, I'm always cute. Yeah, I've seen Miss Twisted. I think I have a few of her, at least when it comes to like the way she does the makeup. Of, I don't think I'm back far enough. If I go down, there'll probably be some of hers in here. That'd be cool to make. Whatever looks annoying to wear long term, like it would catch on stuff or whatever, if I can make that, but then like make it in a way that it still looks kind of annoying, but isn't as annoying, because then it fulfills the purpose. Bells for the bells throne. Did you hear that, Emmy? Emmy. 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 Bells for the bells throne. Let me zoom in on the Emmy boy. Emmy. 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 Mom, man. Wow. Wow. Bells for the bell throne. You playing with your bells now? Are you playing with your bells now? Wow, bells. Bells for the bell throne. Bells for the bell throne. Bells for the bell throne. Thank you for bells for the bell throne. Emmy says thank you. Do you say thank you? Do you say thank you? Thank you for the bells. All of these bells on chains were the last couple. The last couple donations for bells to the bell throne. Bells to the bell throne. Wow, bells to the bell throne. When we finally have the office, we can finally build him the bell throne. Any advice for a beginner with ADHD? Yeah, beginning for what? Just like generally crafting? Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna do a hoop skirt. I'm not gonna do a. I don't like skirts in LARP unless they're split in some way, and then I usually just wear leggings underneath. Are you a cute baby? 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 Bells. So yeah, if I were to do like a bottom layer to this, it'd probably be if I had to do kind of like that shape of skirt, I'd probably split it down the sides. So it would be like that way you can kind of keep the secret pants. Also, just like, I feel like a lot of people will try to tell people to wear like billowy stuff to stay cool, but I don't know, man. I guess growing up in Florida, I grew up with more like humid heat. Billowy works if it's dry heat, like if you're in like Arizona, because then you want like wind to pull through. But like billowy just traps humidity against the skin. Like all that open air just is humid air now against your skin. What works is like skin tight stuff. So like having leggings keeps me safe from bugs, safe from sun, safe from heat. And then I just put whatever I want on top of it. Same for like my base layer on the top. Like I typically have like a linen shirt or something underneath, whatever. Large Warbler plastic. Warbler's fun. I haven't been able to play with it myself, but we've done some videos on kit making like stuff out of Warbler. I think he made a mask, and then he made a, I forget if the sheath that he made for the dagger was made out of Warbler. This could be this kind of shape, which does kind of also give a little bit of a like a birdish shape to it. Goodbye. Moisture wicking. Yeah, you definitely want to go more for moisture wicking than you want to go for billowy. I don't think that a lot of places in America, besides like when you start to get more West Coast, have the same climate that you would expect for historical clothing. I don't know, man, but like even historical clothing doesn't tend to be super billowy. And then it also was made out of like more natural materials. Genshin Impact Navia. Sure. Genshin Impact Navia. So they have, yeah, they have a split skirt. I can't see it from the back. Here it is. Yeah, that's cool. Kind of like the pleating. So that reminds me a lot of the Victorian skirts that I saved that have like pleating down the back. This has pleating at the very bottom, and then this has even just like stuff like that. Like I wonder if into the split, because then I could also pull it up into the hip area. like feathers here. It's cool too. Kind of like back bustle. Yeah, this is kind of, I guess, what that would translate to real life, of that kind of back and forth fold. I don't know if I'd want it to be that. It's kind of a nice shape to it. I don't want to pull that kind of tighter shape to it. Evil Regina from Once Upon a Time. Yeah, she has some good costumes. I'll take a look at that. See what kind of stuff she has. She tends to have kind of like a crow-ish aesthetic. Because they are typically associated with evil. But I'm not evil, I swear. Oh, we've been watching Lily watch us. Look at, hi Lily! You watching us? Yeah, you are. Lily's always watching. Emmy, Emmy, Emmy. Alright. This is cool too. Multi-pleated. Not very bird. Oh, I like that. That's a cool pattern, I guess, of like, and also just contrast of shapes. Also like stuff like this. So like if her sleeves were more. I feel like she would have more like formal wear, and then she'd have more like day-to-day, and her more day-to-day strikes me as more like kind of like that Victorian, almost kind of like this vibe where it's not super like everywhere. It's more lightweight, able to move around, but still fanciful. Like nothing super long, aka like able to go about the days, and then having something that's more like elegant, even if it's just something I can put on top of like a coat or something that I can put on top of what I'm already wearing, so that I can quickly transition from out on the town to able to like more formal. I think that'd be nice to have. Even just like building an outfit that can be an outfit through all the different layers. Like if this was my bottom layer, then having a jacket that I can, like a vest that I can throw on, that's fancy enough to like justify, like, this is my, like the prince is sparring with the knights. Like, you know, those kinds of scenes where like the prince takes off all his fancery and he's just in his billowy shirt. And then someone comes and tells them they need to stop having fun and go deal with court. That tends to be Crow's life. She's always been like, she's the character that's always been like, I want to travel the world and read all the books that I could ever find. And it's like, responsibility, though. Meanwhile, Fox is kind of the opposite, where he's like the one that's been actively choosing responsibility. It's been interesting since we've been playing them, because Fox has definitely come like a little bit back to his more trickster, like, self without the constant threat of death everywhere. Oh, I just got the earlier thing of, Charlie, Fix said, any advice for beginner with ADHD? And the next thing he said was cosplaying like you, already have a great design started. I can't, is it you asking how to start a design? Or... jog. If this, you mentioned wearing this in summer, and you mentioned not wanting to wear skirts, yet everything I'm seeing has skirts. So, I don't mind wearing skirts as long as they have slits in them. Like, it's basically like they're fake skirts. And then I have pants under them. I also don't mind wearing, so, the slits are mostly for mobility, because when you're in a LARP, you're going through like fields and stuff. So I wore actual like full skirts to my first LARP, and they just got caught on all of the grass and trees and everything. And also just like they get in the way of your movement, and you always have to constantly like move your hold your skirts and such. So having things that split so that they're not catching on your legs. Like if they catch on something, it'll get caught behind me because it'll pull behind me rather than catching the front of my leg and tripping me. And then just underneath it, I wear leggings. And then I don't typically like to wear just billowy stuff without like a skin tight thing underneath it, because I find billowy just traps humid air against your skin, not letting it like evaporate or be pulled away. I think billowy stuff from experience only works with dry heat, not humid heat, which almost every LARP I've been to has been humid heat. Every LARP I've been to has been humid heat. So, every time I've ever worn something billowy, I've suffered. I've been always like flapping the skirts and stuff to try and like cool the air that's trapped underneath it. I like that. We'll probably end up, I know it's something that Kit's been thinking about, because the live streams don't necessarily follow the same. YouTube doesn't understand how they fit into our content. I've been thinking about basically making a more like a live, you've seen other YouTube channels do it, like live channel, to move like all of our, not just like live streams, but a lot of our more like personable content that doesn't really fit the crafting channel, because that's how YouTube sees it. So whenever we post a live stream, that always ends up either like dipping the views of our recent videos because it pulls the algorithm away from what our other content is, or our live streams just don't typically do well. I like that kind of shape to it. Oh, I like that, yeah. This is basically what my designing is just looking at reference pictures, finding bits and pieces that I like and being like, I wonder what that will look like. I should probably save that because that'll lead to probably sewing patterns to make this stuff. Probably stairs, yeah. I've worn skirts at technically two things. Speaking of the SCA, I wore it to Pensick because I didn't have dresses and such that matched kind of Pensick's vibe, so I had a friend that invited me, that she and some of her friends basically dressed me, made me some dresses and such. I was so hot all the time. I was constantly like flapping the skirts and trying to survive. And then the very first LARP I went to, I had one outfit that had a full skirt, and I immediately changed out of it because I only lasted a few hours. I find skirts so hot. Black lace would be gorgeous. Yeah. I also tend to like equestrian cuts. Yeah, it's just because I used to ride horses. So I'm partial to the look of stuff like this. Like a lot of women's riding dresses are technically split skirts and have that, here's the Regina Once Upon a Time vibe. And eventually transitioned into the equestrian style. Trying to think of what it's called. It's basically like the double tail outfit. And she is wearing equestrian gear, so like those are riding boots, and riding pants, and a riding jacket. Tip to the wise. Don't wear riding boots to LARPs, even though they look cool. Just get like modern good shoes, and then just get like something to put over the top of it if you want to look in character. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on shoes. But riding boots, their heels are framed differently to try to encourage good riding posture. And if this is your foot, good riding posture is with your heel down as much as possible. So when you're walking all day, it will rip your heel apart. I tried to wear some of my riding boots for LARPs, and it did not work. When I looked up why, they were like, oh yeah, riding boots typically have like the heel shaped differently to try to encourage proper riding posture. I'm like, that makes sense, but also, aw. Yeah, so I think just for also just because it tends to look very bird-y, but also I've always very much enjoyed the style of that like equestrian leaning. That looks cool. This is very equestrian. Man, I remember when I had to dress up fancy to do horse shows and stuff. So, is there anything you guys want me to work on? Or is it just working on costume designs? I think that's kind of what I was going for with here. Only instead of these sleeves. Anything that I want to work on? I mean, this is all the stuff that I'm like actively working on, so I just don't want it to be boring for you guys, since sometimes it's always fun to just kind of work on something new out of the blue. But I feel like when it's something that I'm actually working on, it's a bit of a slower process because I'm very slowly like nitpicking things and what are you doing, Emmy? So I always find it might be more interesting for you guys to work on something that we kind of design together, rather than you just watching me like slowly paint a thing. Oh, Dave Tottenham of us from Minnesota. Are you the one that sent us the Christmas cards? Because I know he finally got the Christmas cards that someone's been wanting us to open the box of. I'll have to ask him about that one. It's sometimes hard to keep track of the stuff that comes through on Kit's side. It'll get a lot easier with the office, but the current, we have definitely outgrown the basement. It is amazing how quickly we lose things down there. Like, I will organize a thing, and then he'll need to record a thing really fast, so all of the things on that table get very suddenly moved, aka shoved into a box and put to the side. Some writing on the outside. I'll ask him about it. From Minnesota, back in March. I'll actually send him a text right now. Like, I had just organized a lot of my sewing stuff, and then the next time I went back, I was like, it was across the floor because the box got tilted to the side because he had to very quickly move stuff to like make room for a camera. I'm so excited. Get a package from Minnesota. Back in March of 2025? That was a while ago. Can you tell us at all, like, anything that might help with what was in it? If it was, you said, box a little bigger than an envelope. It was a gift, dude, but can you give us any details of like what was in it? Like what was the gift? Because if it was back in March, we might need something to kind of like narrow in on. Because I was definitely not there, so I have to filter it into something that will make Kit remember it. Are you screaming? Are you screaming? Lily's trying to tell me what to do. You trying to tell me what to do, Lily? Something handmade. So you open it together on camera. You mentioned it on a live stream just before Kit was forced on vacation. He's singing the whole family opera. He's hitting all them notes. I'll ask him about it. At the very least, like if we have it, we're gonna be moving stuff into the office soon, so I'll be able to finally organize and find things. I know that there's been a few people that have sent us stuff. I don't want it to ever feel like it's just kind of like they don't like we don't even really get the stuff you guys send us. Anne, are you the one that sent us the Christmas cards? Because I know he, like, just recently, like, when I was last there, he finally gave me that one. The one with, the advent calendar. Yeah, the advent calendar. Oh my god, I love that. You should have seen my face when I was opening it. I wish that was on stream, because it's just full of a bunch of shinies. Like, I thought it was gonna be chocolate. And then... Thank you, Anne. I was going through, I was like, oh, and then I was like, frantically opening all of them, because it was past the time, the dates anyway. So I was allowed. And each one was just like a new shiny. I was making happy noises to the point that Kit came back in the room. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, they gave me shinies. And then we got to that final one, the ram. That took us a little bit. We're like, what is it? Is it like, it looks like ram. Is it a mystery? We're like, do we plug it in? Do we figure it out? And we were like looking through the card to see if there's anything like, if it was something special. Then I eventually took a picture and looked it up on like image search, and I think it's like you have to tell me if there is anything else of it, but it was like basically like a keychain made out of an old RAM board. Just RAM. Okay, we were so ready to like, there's like a deep mystery tied to this RAM. It's cool though. Like once we looked it up on the RAM, it was like 9622 was printed on all of the different parts of it, which I think looking up means that it was made on the 22nd day of the year of 96 or something. The music sounds like it's gone not very demure. Too Barbie-core. I love the old RAM. I think that's really unique. I think I actually have it because I didn't want to leave it where it could become part of the mess again. Yeah, I do. Look it. I thought of Evie when I found the bell. I had packed it up like you gave me so much like gems and like pieces and that I could make jewelry out of or something that I wanted to sit down when I had more time and try to figure out what I could make from all of it. So right now it is all in a single bag, which I pointedly showed to Kit, and I was like, this is how you keep it from exploding. As in exploding into mess. Yeah, 9622. But he ends up claiming most of the things that I have that have bells on them. Don't you, Emmy? Don't you? Yeah, you do. I did think of him when I unpacked the bell, though. You gave me lots of gemstones too, so it's gonna be and a lot of like cordage to make jewelry out of, I assume. I'm gonna see what it'd be cool to make something for like a lot of that stuff would be cool to add like to a costume or something. I'm very much a collector of shinies. I have like a few different places that just is a collection of everything that has ever been given to me, and like, oh, Alexa, turn on office lights. I am here. I live. I don't know why that's being so. Am I dead? No. I'll also just collect random stuff that I find in the world that reminds me of different points in time. Like, I have confetti from a concert. I have a random twist of metal that I found left on a seat when I used to work as a waitress that was like just an interesting shape of metal. I have a random like Boardwalk Monopoly card. that I found while I was just on a walk. I have just a bunch of random stuff. So I appreciate interesting and like shinies and stuff. I do crave chocolate now though, because when I saw the advent calendar, I'm like, ooh, someone sent us chocolate, and I opened it and it was shinies, which was better, but I do crave chocolate now. Sorry if I'm a bit awkward whenever, like, I've always been super awkward with like thanks. I tend to appreciate things like quietly over time. And then I always feel like I come across as like, thank you for this thing when people give stuff to me, when in reality I'm just like, dang, I got dang. I don't know. I'm a little bit more awkward about that kind of thing than Kit. He's always been very good at like showing appreciation. Meanwhile, I'm like, thank you for dang thing. The IT letter you sent ages ago. I'd have to look again. Like I literally just spent like one of the days this week while Kit was finishing a project, organizing a lot of the workshop, and I found all of the things that could be from people over the years, and I've put them all in one place. So hopefully we can organize that a bit more. So I don't like the idea of people sending us stuff and then it getting lost, or like, I don't know. It goes against my moral code. Speaking of my moral code, I did get a glass to pour a drink for this live stream. But I was so excited about the Birdcam that I got very distracted. Yeah, of course you can post pictures of the cards in the calendar in the Discord. You did remember to give it to me. Don't fight. Alright, I think it's getting a little late. So, anything you guys want to see designed before I head off? I can be quite quick about design when it's not like a thing that I'm, I guess, well, like this, it's very much like a thing that I've been nitpicking for months. Let me know if you enjoyed Birdcam. Wait, is this the layer for plants? Birdcam. I am obsessed with Emmy. It's one of the things that I'm most looking forward to for The Office is him being able to be in the office and having a bell thrown. Bell King! Are you the Bell King? 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 He the Bell King. Turkish dress. Slash tunic style dress over trousers. Not sure. There's a lot of different styles, so like this. Or it's like 3 layers. It's pretty. Kind of like how that almost looks beakish. I don't know if it's like kind of like this, or there's or like this but the middle's longer, or there's a like they're eels. You would have basically a skirt and then overlapping it. You have another skirt. I'm gonna make them a little bit far apart just so you can tell the. So it kind of looks like. But they're like a full skirt, but there is technically a split to it. Kind of like the opposite of what a lot of It's kind of a... It's kind of like the opposite of what a lot of... Oh geez, what am I thinking? That's kind of... ish, where there's like a middle layer. It's pretty stuff. I'm trying to think of... the word is stuck on my... You know, like when priests or whatever, or paladins have this, but the front layer is in front of everything. That's kind of the opposite. Tabard, kind of, yeah. I think tabard's just the middle part of like when you have a thing of fabric that goes down from your shoulders. Vestibule, maybe. Religious thing that goes down the middle that like priests wear different colors for different seasons, like Easter season and such. And normally you see layering like that, where like the middle layer is on top of everything. But it's cool to see kind of like the middle layer beneath in like different skirts, so that it makes a dress that isn't actually stopping your legs should your legs wish to come out. Anyone else? I don't really have anything to go off for design rather than kind of like how it lays. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. Well, if no one else has anything else they want to think about conceptually with design or something, then it is 7:30. Well, it's 7:44, but it's past 7:30, which is the time we normally end. And the birds are slowly plotting my demise. Because it's past, especially with how dark it gets up here, it's past the time that they would like to go to sleep. Unless you want to talk about Star Wars. Don't you get me started on talking about Star Wars. I'll talk about Star Wars all day long. Is that what the design stream's just gonna become? Is try to taunt Maddie into talk about psychology or Star Wars? Or shinies. There's a lot of different types of shinies to potentially talk about. You'd have to be more specific. redesign Anakin. That'd be interesting to do like redesigns for different characters. Redesign Anakin, like his visuals, or Ahsoka. Ahsoka's my favorite Star Wars character. Yeah, it'd be interesting to do like character redesigns. Maybe we'll do that next time. Depends. If anything else comes up to design in the meantime. Well, yeah, it'd be fun to do more sci-fi and kind of apocalyptic, or just any, like, we tend to do a lot of fantasy. All right, I was reading that while I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm gonna fall to the dark side. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna put my poor little baby boys to bed.
You're sleepy? You're sleepy? Wow, wing flip. You're sleepy? You wanna say goodnight to the peoples? You wanna say goodnight to the peoples? Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Come here. It's like, I am sleepy. I want to cuddle my bells and violence them.
All right.